Good day and welcome to Work It Out Workshops video series. In just 10 minutes, as usual, we want to inspire you, to encourage you, and to empower you. And today's guest is Dave Ajieren. He's an author and a speaker and also a relationship referee. Very interesting. Today's topic is you're single for a reason and you know why. Do we know why, Dave?
Actually, no. And that's why the title is actually You're Single for a Reason, and I know why.
You know why.
Exactly.
But they don't know why.
That's the whole idea behind the project to begin
Well,
with.
let single folks know why they're single.
Well, this is the interesting thing. I did a lot of research before I came up with this subject title, and I realized that 42% of African American women are single. And let me ask you, Sharon, would you agree that's a pretty high number?
I think it's a very high number, but I also know that a lot of women are waiting till they're in their 30s to get married if they decide to.
Yeah, the 42% that I'm actually speaking of are women who are in their, from 25 going all the way up to 40,
Wow. Yeah.
45. And what's interesting is that 70% of them, 70% of that percentage are professional women. Women who are actually professionals, which of course are over 30. And the interesting thing about this is that I have joined a lot of relationship forums, and I've viewed most of them and even attended most of them. And what I realized, like I said earlier, is that most single women don't have a clue. And I give you an example. I remember on one of the Facebook forums, and one of the ladies said that the reason why most women are single, African American women to be exact, is that the men don't know how to handle their business. However, I told her to explain what business is, and she didn't have a clue. So, that's...
Well, I guess that really is subjective and personal. But I know you're going to get a lot of women. I know a lot of my viewers are going to say, well, we're single because it's our choice. And frankly, from the statistics, it seems as though more of the women who have chosen a career path decided that they wanted to be single. You think that has something to do with it?
That's an interesting point you just made. However, I strongly do know for a fact that anybody who makes a statement like that is actually in a denial phase, because most of us out there, if not everybody, does desire a fulfilling relationship, does want to be able to have a family, have children, have a loving husband and all. So it's something that people say, or if we might say most women, probably because they've been hurt too many times. And because they've been hurt too many times, they get to that point where they feel like, look, I'm better anyway if I'm not married. So the reason why I came up with this is to help them understand that there's hope. And this is from a man's perspective. Okay, see, most men wouldn't do what I'm doing here.
So as a woman, and if I said to you, if I actually did say to you, well, I'm better off not married, what do you have to offer to me?
Well, don't get me wrong, it doesn't become a debate. If a woman feels like she's happy being single, I don't have a problem with that whatsoever.
So yours is more for those that are single, not necessarily by choice, and are looking for the right particular mate.
Yeah, which if you do, if we do the research, we realize that majority of women are actually in that bracket where they are definitely looking.
I would tend to agree.
Yeah, they are definitely looking, and they just want to understand why. And in another forum, a lady said that one of the reasons why most women are single, and I'm telling you this just so they can understand the confusion. She said the reason why most women are single is because 50% of black men are incarcerated.
Okay.
But I helped her.
You disagree with that?
Well, I helped her understand the stats. Like I said, I did a lot of research before coming up with this concept. Mm-hmm. And there's actually 2 men in America. In America today, for every black woman, there are 2 men. There are 2 black men.
Do you hear that? There are 2 men for every black woman, 1 black woman. Let's find out what type of 2 men they are.
What
does that say?
But I think the point I'm making is that if half of them were incarcerated, then it makes it a level field, either way it goes. So that couldn't be the reason. And like I said, that was the reason I came up with You're Single for a Reason, and I know why. Because from a man's perspective, okay, for the last 15 years, I've dated women, and I'm single right now, by the way. And I've dated a lot of women, and I basically understand why a man would not be necessarily willing to make that commitment to go to the next level. when you, that's the whole idea behind the program, Sharon. So you're married, so you ain't gotta be taking the program. However, your audience, on the other hand, this is what I can guarantee them. I can guarantee them that when they take this program, my sessions, I do group sessions, I also do one-on-one sessions, okay, with individuals. Here's what I can guarantee them. I can guarantee them that not only will they be able to finally realize, it's like the light bulb going off. And they're saying, are you serious? This is the reason why. And the reason why they're going to finally get it, the reason why nobody has ever told them like this before, is because most men will never admit the reason. The reason why I decided to, it's interesting, I keep using the word reason, right? That shows you how powerful that word reason is here.
Okay.
But the reason why I decided to go that route is because when I realized what I was doing and that I wasn't building women up, I realized that, you know what, I had to take responsibility and I had to start, helping them to understand that reality, which most men are not willing to do. Actually, most men, and that's why this is focused on women. Because I thought about it, I said, do I do this for the women or the women and the men? However, I realized that most men really don't want me to tell women or help them understand what I'm going to help them understand.
Well, do you agree with Steve Harvey's concept where he says, think like a man, even act like a lady? Have you heard of his concept?
Yeah, I think act like a lady, think like a man, something like that.
Mm-hmm. Act like a lady, think like a man?
Yeah, something like to some extent. To some extent, I agree with Steve Harvey.
Because
I think
he's given out a lot of male secrets on why women, how women think and how men think and why men do certain things because of the women's reactions. And so he does give a good forum out there. So tell us a little bit how you would work with us.
Well, it's interesting because I've most of these forums that I mentioned are forums that either Steve Harvey hosted or some other people hosted, and you can go online and find them too. Steve Harvey, he actually gives to a certain point. Okay. Now, one thing that I want you to understand is that Steve Harvey has been married for a very, very long time. Mm-hmm. Okay, and from a marriage perspective, you get to view things a little differently from a single man who's actively.
And that's very interesting. So
yeah,
you
a single man who's
opinion.
actively looking
Right.
and actively engaged in these relationships. Like I said, the last 15 years, I've been actively engaging in different relationships with these women. So it's a little different when a married man says, hey, this is what I think you need to do to get married.
Yeah, but he was single one time too, and maybe that's how he ended up getting married.
Yeah, but that was long ago. We're in 2000 and
I
we're in the new millennium now. So things are a little different.
I'm teasing you, Dave.
There's a saying that the game has changed.
The game has certainly changed. I know that I've heard young folks say that they don't date anymore. No one's dating. What is dating? And there's no such thing as courting. So I find it really interesting. As you said, the game has certainly changed.
And that's why I'm the referee.
And so you are the referee.
Yeah, because I'm about to direct order in the game.
And you know why a lot of women are single. Or is that the same holds true for men? Why men are single? Is it why men and women are single?
Oh, absolutely. Because, and it's interesting because it starts with the women, Sharon. If the women begin to understand, why they're single, then that would help put the pieces together for the men also. You understand? Because the men are just as oblivious as most of the women are. And that's what my program actually does. But here's what I'll guarantee you and your audience. Once they take my session, whether they do the individual counseling session, whether they get involved in the group sessions, it will literally give them clarity. It will give them insight. And once it does that, it will be able to not only help those women find a decent man that they can have a decent relationship, meaningful relationship with, but they'll also be able to have a fulfilled life, which I think is most important than anything else.
Well, thank you so much. So here you have it. You're single, and Dave knows why. I think that we need to participate in his program for all those single men and women. It's not limited to just women. So please, if you're having some conflicts or concerns on being single and like to get married, is that right?
Absolutely.
If you'd like to get married, then check out Dave's program. Thank you so much. We hope that you are able to make a head-heart connection.